Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Like to thank all of the listeners who listen to the show and their comments. I really appreciate it. We're on moving. As I always state, you are all some of the smartest people on the planet. Believe you me. Now, they had a case of the coronavirus in Seattle, Washington. A USPS employee tests positive for coronavirus in Washington, D.C. Wow. Now, I just want to say that they're not sure how it spread, how the disease spread, so they're telling you to wash your hands because, say, for instance, you got the postal worker was in the package sorting facility area, tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, is that virus airborne to where, say, a person cough or sneeze on a package, and it's transported, it gets into the mail facility. One of the employees picks up the package, and it's transmitted through the pores, and now that person has the corona virus, and then that person goes home and coughs and gets on a bus, goes to the grocery store, and okay, now it's spread, and that's why they use the term pandemic from the CDC when it was first coming out. Right now, check this out though. Now, this is dealing with infectious disease, right? And it states that coronavirus update, containment is possible. The WHO says that, and that's the World Health Organization. The coronavirus that causes COVID-19 poses a unique challenge to health authorities. The head of the World Health Organization said on Monday as he gave an update on the viral epidemic that has now touched at least 62 countries. But he added that the virus is also showing signs that it can be contained. Now, what signs is it showing? You can't make a statement saying, well, we're showing signs of containment, but you're not telling us what those signs are to assure the people, because I can tell you in a second, but people are starting to panic in a sense. But let's continue. We are in uncharted territory. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom said at a briefing in Geneva. Wait, let's go back. We are in uncharted territories. But the title of this is the update. Containment is possible, WHO says. He says containment is possible, but then he comes back and says we are in uncharted territories. So is containment possible, or are we in uncharted territory? Then you don't know what to expect, or you don't have an answer or a solution, or are you just saying containment is possible just to ease the nerves of the public? But we'll keep going. We have never before seen a respiratory pathogen that is capable of community transmission, but which can also be contained with the right measures. There it goes again. They have never before seen a respiratory pathogen that is capable of community transmission. Never seen it before. Right? But it also can be contained with the right measures. Well, what is the right measures? Measures that this thing can be contained with. I'd like to know, and I'm pretty sure my listeners would like to know, and a lot of the American public would like to know, what are the measures that you are going to take to contain this virus, right? Contrasting COVID-19 with the flu, Tedros said if this was an influenza epidemic, we would have expected to see widespread community transmission across the globe by now, and efforts to slow it down or contain it would not be feasible. But containment of COVID-19 is feasible and must remain the top priority for all countries, he added. It's feasible, but how? crediting quick and aggressive response from some countries and limiting transmission of the deadly virus. By far, China still has more cases of the virus that causes COVID-19 than any other country, with more than 80,000 cases. But while the coronavirus has been contained in some areas, the WHO is concerned about epidemics in 4 countries: South Korea, Italy, Iran, and Japan. So it's contained, but you're concerned because it's in epidemic proportions in 4 countries. Okay. In the last 24 hours, there were almost 9 times more cases reported outside of China than inside China. So if it's 9 times more cases reported outside of China, meaning then it wasn't contained in China, Italy, Japan, and South Korea. You get it? That's what he said. Tedros said at the briefing. As the virus spreads, health officials are working to learn the patterns and characteristics that make it unique. For one thing, there are signs that it doesn't sicken children as frequently as it does adults, a metric often referred to as an attack rate. Okay, that's a method. Okay. So that means that young people have a stronger immune system. So, they tend to fight off the virus. Older people, that's why it's important to watch what you eat. As I stated before, get How to Eat to Live, Volume 1 and 2 by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Reason being is because you will know what proper foods to eat to build up your immune system. Because if you on fried foods and all of these sodium and saturated fats and whatnot, and you're depleting your immune system, then of course, you're highly more likely than those who don't to contract or not to contract it, but to where your immune system is not strong enough to fight off something that's airborne when it comes into your system. It has to work harder because the foods you eat is depleting it. It's depleting your immune system. Let's put it like that. But Van Kerkhove, who recently spent 2 weeks in China, also cautioned that information about the coronavirus impact on different demographic groups is still coming in, and that the collection of more stratified data has only just begun. Up to now, she said, most of the reporting has focused on patients' symptoms. There are currently more than 90,000 confirmed cases of the respiratory coronavirus in the world, according to a tracking tool created by Johns Hopkins University. Of that number, slightly more than half, nearly 45,600 people have recovered from the virus, but more than 3,000 people have died. Okay. More than 3,000 cases were confirmed in the city of Daegu, where most of the cases are related to a Christian sect called the Shincheonji Church of Christ, and that's Shincheongi, Church of Christ. This is a Christian sect, Daegu, a Church of Christ in South Korea. South Korea's CDC agency says the country's main strategy for coping with COVID-19 will now focus on mitigating the virus that causes the disease rather than containing it. So they want to mitigate. Now he's saying South Korea rather mitigate the virus that causes the disease rather than containing it. But yet the WHO saying that we can contain the virus. You all officials, get it together. That's all we're saying. Get it together. Now, something interesting about this Christian sect. More than 3,000 cases were confirmed in the city of Daegu, where most of the cases are related to a Christian sect in South Korea. We're going to have to look into that. Matter of fact, we're going to have to look into the history of this Shincheonji Shinoing Ja. I don't know. That's South Korea. Church of Jesus. Whoa, man, what missionaries went over there and set that up? We got to find that out. There's something to that. Something to it. And hey, I just want to say, because I don't want to go through all this, we go hit Italy, because you got a lot of Moors that conquered Italy, and that mixed in with the Italian people. So we'll read about Italy. Italy now has 1,835 coronavirus cases, including more than 1,200 in Lombardy region, which includes Milan. Wow. I'm saying, look, so personal experience. So I'm in the store, right? Grocery store. But on the aisle over to me, man, I'm seeing somebody coughing. Didn't he put their nasty mouth and nose in the pit of their arm, in the bend of the arm where the elbow, where you're supposed to sneeze into. They just sneezing all out in the damn air, right? And at this time, I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, if this dude get close to me and sneeze on me, I'm going to take that as a death threat and I'm going to beat his ass. I'm just going smooth off. Or your parents might never taught him manners. You don't know the mindset and the condition of these people that's out here. Who's your teacher? Who's teaching you how to conduct yourself in a public society? Something as serious as the coronavirus, which is, I'm not panicking. I'm just saying, damn, man, cover your mouth up. Unless you living under a rock and you haven't heard any details or news stories pertaining to the coronavirus, unless you're just in a damn cave some damn where you're just, just out of it. High on mushrooms or some shit to where you don't know what's going on and you're not concerned about your fellow citizens on the planet to where you just cough out loud in public, don't cover your mouth. We don't know if you got it or not, or some could be like, damn, I'm sick, fuck it, I'm finna try to get other people sick as well. I don't know. But, hey man, that's a threat. Stand your ground. Don't sneeze. Look, the new slogan, don't sneeze on me. You sneeze on me, I'm going to tear your ass up. Don't sneeze on me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have some manners, God damn. It's crazy. So I'm in the store, right? I'm like, damn. All the Raisin Bran was gone. What the hell? Folks buying Clorox by the gallon, water flying off the shelves. Certain things was gone off the shelves. Particular items. I'm like, what are they? I'm figuring what the Raisin Bran is for. What is it? Got so much brand that maybe if the virus gets in your system, you can eat a bunch of Raisin Bran and they send you to the restroom and you let it out. Okay, so now I got to find, I'm give me some Raisin Bran too. I don't know, maybe it works, but it was weird, seeing some of the things that people were stocking up on. It's like they're preparing themselves to be locked inside their homes for a specific amount of time, I guess, So yeah, so look, Oliver Pick Radio listeners, hit the store. Get you some staples, grab you some hand sanitizers, grab you some soap, grab you some detergent, alcohol, Clorox, get you a bunch of navy beans. Get you a bunch of navy beans and lentils, and you'll find it in How to Eat to Live 1 and 2 by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Grab you some black beans, get you some black beans, basically, just in case, meaning don't get caught slipping. Is all I'm saying. Don't get caught slipping. Prepare yourself. Black History Month. We wanted to do a little Black History for you all today, but I decided to speak up on the coronavirus. How can I tie this into Black? Okay, well, how can I tie this into Black History? Tuskegee. where they injected black men with syphilis and allowed them to go into the community and pass that syphilis on to black females was one of the horrific chemical warfare, biological warfare attacks on American soil by devils. And see, and they say, oh, you devils are, that's reverse racism. No, only a devil would do such an act. That's all. Okay, but like, if you have a better term than to use to call someone who orchestrated an act like purposely injecting men with a biochemical weapon called syphilis and then sent them out in the community knowing what you had done, what's the proper term? I mean, what's a term that's so low down? What's more low down than calling a person a devil who committed such an atrocity, such as that? Yeah, what's a better term? I don't know any better term, but then that's why they were called devils for the actions. They ain't had to do with the color of skin. It was such an act like that. Hell, you earned the damn title devil. You know, so Black History Note, that was dead. Black History Note, Black Wall Street, Oklahoma. Black History, Move in Philadelphia. Drop the bomb on them. Drop the bomb on blacks in Oklahoma. Black History Facts. If you all have heard or haven't heard that AIDS was manufactured, we're talking about how some of these 1% elites want to cull the population by 2 billion people. They're saying that the planet is overpopulated and they want to get rid of 2 billion. You know, like the Creator can't sustain the people that's on the earth if you follow His will and His way. But okay, they say they want to knock out 2 billion people. You know, because you unworthies are sucking up their air from the 1% elite. They saying, hell, you all them breaths you taking, that could be more air for them, I guess. Maybe the universe not producing enough air for the 1% elite, so 2 billion gotta go. You know, maybe they tired of bumping into you in the grocery store or something. You know what I'm saying? They tired of driving past regular people on the freeway. You know, there's too much traffic for them, so 2 billion people have to be gone off the planet Earth according to their mindset, right? On a planet that they had no hand in creating, right? Upon people who are already here, producing and who was already civilized before you even got on the planet, but yet the planet has too many people, so you got to knock off about 2 billion. Hey, it's a crazy world we living in. The election, come on. Like the minister said, you voting for if you voting for the lesser of two evils, that means you want Satan or the devil. And it look, as I did in my documentary, Past, Present, and Future, which they took down because we were on them. But if y'all, those of you who got to see that on YouTube, we're talking about how we still talking about the funky chicken or doing the dance called the chicken. And it was 2019 at the time. We still talking about no justice, no peace. We still talking about police brutalities. We still talking about we need fair wages as far as jobs. I mean, it's like, wow, you know. We've been voting in these presidential elections since we were allowed the right to vote. But we get to that. Since we were allowed the right to vote, we've been voting these presidential elections, even had a black president, and we still talking the same thing. And it's like, wow. Now, Joe Biden was super dependent. I'm sure how the game go, right? Joe Biden was super dependent upon the black vote in order for him to win South Carolina to stay in the race. And if he didn't win South Carolina, he was about through. He was dead in the water. He was finito, right? Okay, but blacks came in and put him over the hump. He comes out, he thinks women. First he said, yeah, all races, women. Then he got to the black, and he said white and black vote. So, look, man, you wouldn't even been there if it wasn't for the force of the black vote. Now, check this out. At one time, blacks didn't have the right to vote. But now that blacks have the right to vote, people are depending upon the black vote in order to get in office. What is that about? How did that happen? Well, because in those areas, black people been multiplying. The population of the black community is growing. It's growing. It's growing. The population of the white community is shrinking. It's shrinking. It's shrinking. So the politician has to cater towards that black vote, even no matter who you are, even if you're Trump. So if black people were wise, which we are wise. No, okay, but if we were really wise, we say, okay, look at our black people, man, in America. This is what we need to do. We need to get behind Brother Farrakhan. We're going to have an agenda. And whoever want to run and for the black agenda had to sit down and meet with the minister. Then the minister said, okay, well, look, this is what they put on the table, this, and this. And because we know that the minister going to hold them accountable if they get our vote and get in office and don't do nothing. But yet a lot of black folks, what a lot of black folks is, what you're going to do is you're going to let your preacher go get a candidate. He going to bring them to church on the Sunday. Everybody got to be on their best behavior because white folk in the church. And he going to say, this who we voting for, because he got a kickback, but that kickback not going to trickle down to the whole congregation. So we don't want to play them kind of game. We want to make sure the kickback trickles down through black folk all across America. Agenda. What's the agenda? What you hollering? No justice, no peace. Then look here. This is what we want to do for our vote. Okay, we know the police have the body cams, right? But take this taser as a first line of defense instead of the bullet, because we want our children to come home. They running, and you got to hit them with the taser. Don't kill them. You know what I'm saying? Don't have your first option is deadly force when you see a black face, but when you see, or a brown face, but when you see a white face, now you want to be a diplomat. No, we not, no. And then let us teach the uniformed officers on the proper handling of black people coming in the community, because they don't know us, but they policing us. They don't know how we're not robots. So we are, when we say we are emotional, meaning we express ourselves, especially when we feel like we've been wrong. We can't shut up and put your hand to the side, shut up and you listen to me, and if you move, I'm finna shoot you. Nah, of course we're gonna be expressive because we're an expressive people. So it's a proper way of dealing with that, and to police, to bring the unity and peace, and they should pay there for a while. See, our cities, pay there for a while. Let them patrol the cities within the communities to bring peace, because we have a future that we have to build, and we can't lose our young people to racist cops who have an agenda that they've been taught hate by their parents and grandparents, and you want to act it out on tax-paying citizens, not law-abiding citizens, which all citizens should be law-abiding, but tax-abiding citizens, because the tax-paying citizen pays the salary. That whole negative stereotype that all black folk is lazy, that was inbred in white folks' minds, And you suffering from that, white people, it was a lie. That narrative that white people brains are bigger than, that was a lie. It wasn't true. Just like you find white folks finally starting to accept the fact that Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. There was people already here functioning. Right? That was a lie. Don't get caught up in lies. What are some more lies, man? That was a lie. Trying to say that black people didn't contribute anything to the forward advancement of civilization, when you know it and I know it and everybody know it. So we can't play dumb like we don't know it and continue the same old rhetoric and continue down the same old false narrative concerning the races. All of that. Are there some bad? Some bad apples in every race. Hell, go up in them mountains and y'all, you got hillbillies, you got whites who still rob, whites on crystal meth, whites on opioids. You know what I mean? The same thing. It ain't no different. It's just that since white folks are dying from opioids, they want black people's sympathy, but blacks got no sympathy during the crack epidemic. We were ridiculed, maligned. They didn't treat it as disease. They didn't try to offer help to keep the families together. We were exploited. And now that the table's been turned, where our behavior is a learned behavior, because we learn how to deal with crises and situations by watching our white counterparts. We doing the same thing you did. You know what I'm saying? But except now it's in reverse. So we treating you the way you treated us. That's the only way. Meaning, look, how did the slaves learn how to be in American or function in American society? It was through the slave masters or the whites they knew, because y'all were building civilization. So they had to learn some of this fucked up behavior firsthand. Had to witness it. We didn't know the difference. But look, you got black people sitting back watching hillbillies like, is that what America's about? Okay, we got to do this, and let me see, how do you pronounce that word? And we learning English from the hillbillies, thinking that is how it was supposed. Then you would see other whites was dissing the hillbillies. So we like, okay, well, let's look over here at the aristocrats. Let's look over here, because in our eye, white was white, because you all gave each social economic status, in a sense, the same treatment when it came down to black folk. Hell, the hillbillies call us niggas, all the way up to the riches call us niggas. So we ain't see no different. And y'all protected him. Go to the court. He lied, and everybody knew, especially with them hillbilly women. They lied, that black man raped me, and he ain't even touch it. But yet y'all came to his side and hung the black man. So, okay, y'all in the same boat. You gonna hang a black man who was a husband, who was a father to his children, who worked his land and would go over there and work the white man's land, who would get to his family last, making sure white families were sustained, and then white man yell, white girl yell rape, and y'all gonna take this poor white trash hillbilly side against an upstanding black person, hang them, lynch them, and then you want us to say what? Well, I got money, I'm different than Peckerhead Joe down the road. We like Picker, you and Peckerwood Joe call us niggas and hang us in a minute. I don't see no difference between you and Peckerwood Joe. Only difference is you have a top hat and coat, and he got overall suspenders and an old dirty long john shirt on. But what's the difference? So, hey, I don't want to get too far off, but you know how we do on Verbal Pig Radio. But protect yourself. Protect yourself. Basically, that's all I can say. And okay, something else popped in my head. I gotta say it. Fathers, man. Fathers. The role of a father is so important. And ladies, if you're listening, let me explain why. Because no matter what, let that father come around, because he sees his son. He sit back and observes, and he see where he take little shortcuts, and he has to check that shortcut. And say for instance, he cutting the grass and he finished, and he says he finished, but yet you go look at the grass and he still got lines that's higher than he cut part, but the other part is higher, that spots that he missed. All right. Now, father gonna see that. Mother might don't see that over there, and it might not even be a big deal. Here, the grass cut, it looked better than what it was. But the father sees that, and like, why you take the shortcut, or why you missed the grass? Were your attention somewhere else? Were you rushing just to get through? You didn't want to be out here? Take your job and your chores serious. Cut the grass. Why did you miss all these spots in the yard? Right? And he like, well, okay, I didn't feel like it. I got a little lazy. Look here, start that lawn back up and go over it. Go over this yard again and get every spot that you missed. Why? Because that's preparing the son for the future. Because because your work will always be checked. And you don't want folks to come behind you to check you when do it right the first time. Don't make no mistakes. It's easy. Get you a pattern. You start at one. You start at one corner of the yard, and you just go and back and forth until you get the whole thing. That way, you don't just crisscross and just get parts and run through it. Meaning a father is gonna check that behavior and gonna check that character, because he knows how hard and difficult it is out in this society, because there's so much competition. So the father gonna make sure, hey, you got to get this. You got whether it's certain things. I'm just using the yard as an example, but in certain aspects of life, the father gonna catch it. Hey man, what you doing? Why'd you do that? Where the mother wouldn't think that is a big deal, but it's when it comes to manhood, the small details, it counts. It matters, because it grows into bigger things. And then as they get older, you don't have the energy, to be running behind some grown person trying to teach them what they didn't get when they were younger. Don't work like that, and that's why, ladies, you have to know who you're having a baby from. You have to know who's planting their seed on your ovarums. You got to do some background check, some research to see what is getting ready to be produced. Is he gonna stay and help, or do he got baby mamas all over the place and they stay with them and you think you special? You got to wise up, because the game of life, is so serious. See, the game of life is when you younger, when you getting up to 13, 14, 15, when it start getting around 17, after that it's getting more serious. It's getting serious. When you're younger, you had room for mistakes and people laugh, and certain things that you did was cute. They laughed it off. But when you get a certain age, it don't look cute no more. Your favors are gone. Don't nobody want a big grown person laying up on their couch. You know what I mean? All night eating up all the cereal, watching TV, can't get the TV out, videos or something. No, it's not happening. So what you can do is understand analytical thinking, critical thinking, and work to bring forth the vision that you see in your head and bring that into reality. Got to give a shout out to Gnosis. That's Brother Jamal on that sleep apnea, man. Check that out on YouTube. Brother broke that down. Bro. I mean, that's info you can use, bro. You know what I mean? That's info you can use, sis, pertaining to your life. Because that's where we at now. Because sometimes when you have epidemic situations like we have, and people are on edge and they reflect back on their lives, and things are a shock wave. It hits you and it makes you focus on yourself and your life, and it's like, damn, you got to pick things up, you got to get motivated, you got to get moving, because sometimes we get placed on where we're at and fail to realize we got to keep moving. You would never stop being a service. Look, you're going to service your vehicles. You got to put gas in it. Got to change the oil. That's like one of your kids. You got to make sure it stays on the road. Then you got your children you got to service. Make sure they getting their grades. Make sure they eat. Make sure they help this together. Make sure they read. Make sure they getting ready to be productive members of society. Then you got your significant other, making sure he or she health is okay, making sure their mind is stable. I mean, when do you have time for yourself? You might have time for yourself probably 1 hour out the day, and that 1 hour out the day, shut your phones off and everything, and make sure it's just about you. Then, after a year, make sure you go take your vacation and sit back and relax and steal that time for yourself. Cut your phones off and just be in strictly relaxation mode and don't worry about nothing, because you can't go every day in service to this society, because it'll drain on you and it will stress you out. As I stated, you got to have your car service. Your children, you got to provide a service for your children. Provide a service for your significant other. Provide a service for your parents if they, if you're blessed to have them still alive amongst with you. Family members. You got to go on a job in 8 hours and service the job to make sure the customers and your clients get their products out of whatever business you're in. You got to go to the grocery store and shop and get the food to service your family. I mean, you on call 23 hours out the day. Besides the one that you sleep, but you got to, and you sleep just to refuel yourself so you can get up and service some more. You know what I mean? So when you find some time, and I always find that time to service is to relax, and enjoy your life. Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.